Hi, I'm John Bollinger. This is an introduction to the Bollinger Band Tool Kit on TradeStation. To get started, we're going to need a chart, so we're going to come over here to the Trading Apps button. We'll click it, and we'll click on Chart Analysis to get us a base chart. The symbol that we're going to be looking at today is Twitter. We're going to type that in the box here. Produces a chart of Twitter. Let's expand it to fill the full screen and right-click and Format Symbol. First thing we're going to want to do is move to a daily format, and we want 2 years worth of back data. And then in style, we're going to come over here. We want open, high, low, close bar, but we're going to want a white bar, and I'll show you why in just a moment. So that gives us our basic chart for Twitter. We're going to right click now, and we're going to say Insert Analysis Technique. Now, the Bollinger Band Toolkit indicators all start with this Bollinger Band Toolkit and have this little blue symbol over to the left-hand side. So we're going to open this up a little bit so we can see the names of the indicators a little bit better. And we're going to come down here and we're going to select Bollinger Bars right here. And they're going to draw themselves over on top of that white bar chart that we had. And that has an interesting property, which I'll show you right now. Let's show less bars on the So note we now have Bollinger Bars with a little white tick to the left for the open price and a little white tick to the right for the closing price. This is the pattern that we're going to be looking at. This is 3 pushes to a high. So the first thing we're going to need to do is add Bollinger Bands in order to help define this pattern. So again, we're going to come down and say Insert Analysis Technique. We're going to look amongst these tools in the Bollinger Band Toolkit. You can see there are quite a number of them. We're going to select Bollinger Bands and click OK. So they draw on, and note that the middle line is green when it's rising and red when it's falling. That's to help you identify the intermediate term trend. Make sure that you pay attention to what's going on in the price structure. So in order to help define this pattern of 3 pushes to a high, here's the first push, here's the second push, and here's the third push. We're going to use a couple of classic indicators and one of our new indicators. So let's put them on the chart now. So again, Insert Analysis Technique. And the first one that we're going to insert is all the way at the top of the list. It's %B, and it tells us where we are in relation to the Bollinger Bands. So here you see we're out above the upper band, and %B is above 1. Here we are below the lower band, and %B is less than 0. The second indicator we're going to add is bandwidth. Again, we're going to right click and we're going to say Insert Analysis Technique, and we are going to select bandwidth. This tells us how wide the Bollinger Bands are. And the third indicator that we're going to add, again, Insert Analysis Technique, is BB Trend. That's right here. So we now have 3 indicators. %B here, which tells us where we are in relation to the bands, bandwidth, which tells us how wide the Bollinger Bands are, and BB trend, which tells us whether we're trending or not. So the first thing we're going to do in analyzing this pattern is we're going to compare price action with the action of %B. Here we see 3 peaks in price accompanied by 3 lower highs in %B. That's the basic signature of the pattern we call 3 pushes to a high. The next piece of confirmatory evidence is that bandwidth turns down shortly after or at the second peak. And you can see we have a little rise in bandwidth here, and then it turns down just as the second peak is made. And the third piece of confirmation that we're looking for is BB trend, which we want to turn down in relation to the third peak. So that's the combination of 3 indicators to diagnose 3 pushes to a high. A series of lower peaks in terms of %B, a downturn in bandwidth at the second high, and a downturn in BB trend at the third high. So we wait here and we take the first big down day, which is right here, and that's our entry day, and sets up quite a nice trade to the downside. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you'll find 3 pushes to a high and the Bollinger Band Toolkit on TradeStation very useful. If you need more information or want to order the toolkit, you can go to bollingerbands.com and click on the button that says Bollinger Band Toolkit.